Hello and welcome to the Ilene Silverman Show. I'm your host Ilene, and on this week's program, our guests discuss Girl Scout Troop 733, their many projects, including producing Days for Girls International hygiene kits to help their peers in Kenya, and how you can help by participating in their upcoming Sewathon. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Thanks for joining us for our program. On Saturday, March 21st, you can join Girl Scout Troop 733 at their Sewathon and help achieve their goal of Mission Possible, keep girls in school, period. To tell us more, I'm pleased to introduce my guest, Radha Sylvester, Troop Leader for Girl Scout Troop 733 in Alachua, Florida, and Joni Perkins, President of Girl Scout Troop 733. And Joni and Radha, it's great to have you both here.
Thank you for having us, Ilene.
Yes,
Oh, it's my pleasure. I'm very energized about all that Girl Scout Troop 733 is doing, and not to mention the cookies there.
Right. There could be perks to this interview.
I know. And Radha, we go back to other different opportunities that we've, had together, all for this community. And now, how long have you been this troop leader, though?
I've been involved with Girl Scout. I was a Girl Scout as a kid from, my whole childhood.
It's been part of
It's been part of my
legacy,
upbringing, right. And then I've been troop leader in various troops wherever I've lived. But this troop, 733, I took over leadership about 2.5 years ago.
Okay. And Joni, what about Girl Scouts for you?
Well, like Radha, I've been a Girl Scout since I was born, basically. It runs in the family. But as far as Troop 733, I've been a member for the past 5 years since I was in 8th grade, and I'm a senior in high school now.
Okay, right. And you're at Santa Fe High School?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So, and tell me now that the troop's gone through some transitions.
Right.
All very positive. About how many girls are with you in your troop now?
Oh, right now we have about 23, and
Okay.
that's with the multiple troops combined.
That's not counting the new girls that just joined. We're up to 26.
Oh, yeah, right.
Okay,
We got
wow.
3 new girls a couple weeks
you
ago.
have
came in.
a lot going on.
A dynamic troop.
Yes. And give us some history of the troop, because you were telling me all the different things, you have been achieving, you are doing. I mean, now we're going to obviously talk about the Sewathon and all that has meant and the project behind that. But drop back a little and tell me more about it.
A little bit more about it.
733.
Right. When I took over Troop 733, it was really just Joni and my daughter Sita and another girl, half and half. So say 2.5 girls. So over
we have a small troop there.
Small troop, and I said, it's not really worth the time and endeavor to have a troop for just 2 girls. We should invite more girls to join. And slowly but surely, girls started joining, and it was amazing because usually in high school, who joins Girl Scouts in high school? You either were a Girl Scout or you're just still there.
Don't usually join them.
So we started getting new girls, then we let in middle schoolers. So now we have 26 girls. Half of them are middle school, half are high school. So it's been quite a ride.
Yes.
I think part of it is that we do so much.
You do, I know, and I'm astounded at the depth of all that you do.
Yes.
So kind of go back to maybe 2 years ago, or
what we
when
were working on.
Yeah, you and the girls were all deciding your focus. where you were going to go with your Girl Scouts.
I'm going to talk about
in Girl Scouts, as you know, Girl Scouts are in patches, but we also do journeys, which is like a glorified patch.
Okay, and you already have lots of patches
Right,
there. I see on the
and
badge.
things, yeah.
And so we were doing our Girltopia journey. And in that, we create a utopia for girls, Girltopia.
Okay.
Our Mission Possible journey. And so we learned about everything that girls around the world face and all the adversity they face. So we did that journey.
It's called the Girltopia Journey.
Right.
And a journey is discover, like learn new things, connect with others, and then take action to do something to make the world a better place.
That's how it's set up.
That's
for
how all
Girl
the journeys.
Scouts. That's the
all
framework.
the journeys, and there's different age groups, and there's different focus. Some are environmental, some are social skills, or different things. So for this Girltopia journey, they could have done something very simple. Just
Right.
something-
No, not this group.
No, not this group. This group, no, they didn't. They had to do something that was creative to promote their vision of the perfect world for girls. So we had kind of two factions. One wanted to write a skit, and one wanted to build a tree out of recycled materials that had the vision of the perfect world for girls on each leaf. Each leaf would have like a little tidbit. So I was like, wait a second, I don't believe in majority rules. I want synergy. What can we do so
You
that...
say consensus.
Consensus. I love the high concept that, we all feel supportive. And I think maybe that's why we bring in so many girls. They feel heard and affirmed, and they know their ideas will count. They won't be voted out because there's a majority anyway. So we synergized that, and the girls wrote a skit about human trafficking, of all topics, about human trafficking. And part of the skit, there was a prop. This tree was part of the skit, so it was awesome.
And that was out of the recycled materials.
Completely
out of recycled
materials.
It was awesome. So they performed that skit a dozen times around Alachua County, and everywhere we went, people were just like, oh my gosh, I didn't know about human trafficking. And they had like little cards they held up with facts, and people were just blown away.
Right, by the fact that you could present all this knowledge that they could achieve from Girl Scout
as
Troop
a high school Girl Scout
733.
troop.
Yes, right. It's awesome. It's awesome. We're going to take a quick break, but stay with us. We'll be right back. We're back talking about Girl Scout Troop 733 and their upcoming Sewathon. And as I was saying, you already accomplished so much, but that was not enough for Girl Scout Troop 733. Right. Mission Sisterhood, the journey continues, and tell us what happens next.
So we all learned about creating this utopia for girls, and then we get into Mission Sisterhood and how can we help our sisters around the world, right?
Right.
Okay, makes perfect sense. So thinking globally, internationally now.
Right.
All right. And then how did you get this idea of Mission Possible, and which we haven't totally explained? So tell me about Emily.
Yeah, well, We had a guest speaker first that came to the Girl Scout meeting, Jacob Batem, and he had been one of the Lost Boys of Sudan. So he lived that history. He spent 10 years as a refugee wandering around Eastern Africa. And then at 15, he came to the United States and was in the foster care system, and eventually he got an education and was actually at UF working on his PhD in public health. So he was our guest speaker last year, Labor Day. We have our first meeting, and he's talking about education, and girls are dropping out of school, and we're just trying to understand what's that all about. Why are they doing that?
Why?
And finally, it kind of comes out. Well, when they hit puberty, they have no sanitary supplies,
Right.
And that's when Emily would tell what Emily did. She just
Like
Pops up and says, I got it.
Yeah, she had just recently moved from Colorado, and I guess this was something that she had thought about before. And so when it came down to the idea and what can we do to help, she immediately jumped out of her seat. I know something we can do.
Right.
Right.
It was like perfect, meant
this
to
was
be.
her first
And who
Girl
would have
Scout
thought
meeting.
that this was, who would have thought of this as a problem, because it would not have occurred to me.
right, because the
So
girls.
these girls had to stay home.
Yeah.
Right, especially as like high school students is something we never think about, the girls that are halfway around the world.
Right.
And we have
What do they
so many things that we have access to here in America. Like, we don't think about the adversity they face.
Right.
Right.
So every time they had a period, they had to stay home. They
Right.
couldn't go to school, or whatever they had to use was so unimaginable that we
Yeah,
can't think it out,
uncomfortable, yeah,
and
right.
uncomfortable.
Right.
So, and if you didn't get to school at least almost one
Right.
week
You
for
can
a whole
imagine,
month,
like,
what would that
missing
be
a whole
like?
week of school, you get so
Right.
behind. So eventually you can't get back up.
You can't catch
And so
up.
you end up dropping out of school. And this means that what are you going to do? You're going to sit home, or your family's going to send you off to get married.
Right.
And that means you're married at a younger age, you have children at a younger age before your bodies are ready to have children. Therefore, infant mortality rises and maternal mortality rises.
Just a whole lot of problems.
Bad repercussions.
Yes.
Yes.
From one thing that suddenly maybe you could help solve.
Right.
And so what's the idea behind solving that? And your comfort kits, your hygiene kits, and Girls International bring that into play.
So we decided
I know
to
there's more steps here.
There's lots to this.
I know.
make
I know.
comfort kits for the girls over in South Sudan. Well, that was the original idea.
Right.
And so just a few statistics. Out of the 11 million citizens in South Sudan, only 400 girls of them actually graduate.
From high school. each
From
year.
high school.
So if we were able to make 200 comfort kits and send them, then that would raise their graduation rate by 50%.
Wow.
And that's a large
That's a lot.
number.
Yes. And a comfort kit, explain that, is
Right. So they're washable, reusable menstrual pads.
Mm-hmm.
And so once we give them to them, they can have them and without having to keep purchasing. Because
right, reuse.
Right, there was the quote that in South Sudan, there's a quote from one of the girls who said that sanitary supplies cost as much as a bag of corn.
So what are you
So
going
what
to
are you
do?
gonna
Are you
do?
going
You gotta
to
eat
starve
for that.
them?
family? Yeah, right. So that's what they were up
What a
against.
comparison. Okay.
So the girls did a lot of research, and they put together an amazing PowerPoint presentation, which they gave to a dozen different groups, UF groups and Kiwanis and Lions and such, and just rallied support for making
their idea.
Yeah, reusable, washable menstrual supplies for girls in South Sudan. So we started these sewathons, and during the
Right.
course of the year, South Sudan went back into civil war.
Right.
And so our plan we actually achieved our goal. We'll tell you more about that after, but we did make the
Right.
200
Yes,
comfort
I
kits.
know.
We had it finished May 10th, and by this time the country is in a horrible war. The person who was
not-
going to bring them can't go back there because she was shot at last time she was there.
So
And
now
school's
it's
not in session, so
right,
that wasn't
it's
an
not
option.
working out.
It
yeah.
wasn't an option. So
But another door opened, as it
another
often
door
does.
opened. Yes. Do you wanna-
And tell us.
So of course we had the option of just like sending them off to a company to disperse them in any
Right,
country.
never-
But at this time it had become personal to us, and we had spent so much time studying, and we wanted to see our project, our original vision, like follow through.
Right.
So it just so happened that my cousin, her pastor's wife, is the sister of the governor of Tarakaniti, Kenya.
Right. I love this.
Like 6 degrees of separation.
Yes.
Yeah, it was meant to
Here
be.
it is.
God had
meant
planned.
to be.
Right. And so I'm at my house talking about, oh, we have to get ready for our Sewathon, and my cousin gets interested, and we were telling her about our dilemma, that South Sudan is in a war, so what are we going to do? And she told us about her pastor and his wife and her brother, her husband.
Right, and it was all it was all coming together. And we're going to take another quick break.
Sure.
Stay with us. We'll be right back. We're talking with Girl Scout Troop 733 and Joni. Okay, we're seeing the larger picture here,
Right.
And the connections. Take us further.
So now that we had made the connection, then we had to establish a meeting. And so we met with the governor of Tarakaniti, and he told us about his vision and his wife's vision, which happened to be similar to ours. And so now we have a plan that we're going to send them to Kenya.
Right. I can see by your smile too how everybody just must have been they are still so energized. And Ronnie, you had 200 kids waiting to go to people in your, I know, which was a long, time coming.
It's a lot of space it takes up, my tiny little living room in my apartment, and they were sitting there for 2 months. And then finally, Joni's mom, who's the co-leader of the troop, she said, "You're not going to believe it." Yeah, Darlene Perkins. She said, "You're not going to believe it, but my cousin's pastor's brother-in-law is coming." So anyway, we went to Daytona Beach to meet with him, and on that very first meeting, he asked us if we could please come to Tarakaniti, Kenya, to teach the girls how to make these kits.
And that is
I know
a goal.
you're eager to see them.
I am. I want you to show me, please.
So we'll show you here.
am.
So we first of all, when the girls decided to do the project, they didn't even know how to sew, most of them.
Yeah.
So we partnered with the American Sewing Guild, and you can hold this up. And the American Sewing, one of the ladies, Beverly Hilton, she had made these for us, so we could trace
The
out the
template.
shields. But I guess I need to show you what that
Right,
all looks
what's it?
like here.
We've
So
got
basically,
a
I'll hold up
drawstring bag,
Yeah,
colorful.
the girls make the drawstring bags. They make the drawstrings and the bags, and they put a size on there so that what size panties are in the bag. We need like women's size, small and medium, and girls large.
Okay.
Okay, and then all of these different things we actually make. So these are the liners, and we try to make them pretty colors as much as possible. And because they need to be washed and dried easily, and they need to be hung up. Hold that up for you to see there. So
and you want it to be fun
cheerful,
and appealing and cheerful. These are young
right.
girls.
And we also don't want stains to show. Like if they
That's
hang
a
it
good
up on the
point.
clothesline, and because it's thin, it's only 2 layers of flannel, it'll dry quickly in the sun. We've seen other models where it was thick and they might not dry, and you're going to get bacteria.
And then you have the shield, which goes around the panty.
Okay.
And then you put the liner inside.
Inside.
And so they can take these with them to school.
Right.
And
You've
they
got the
have
bag to take
2
it in.
bags, 2 Ziploc bags, so they can have clean and dirty. And so
Okay,
it makes
that
it
comes
really
with it.
easy for the girls. And with that, we give instructions, and this is from Days for Girls. They use pictograms because obviously not everyone speaks the same language. So this makes it simple so that it's easy to follow, so they know how to use them, how to put them on, and then how to clean them.
How to clean them.
That's really
excellent.
important.
And I love this
we also
part.
we enclosed a picture of the girls and when they finished the last sewathon that they did in May, and there's 2 pairs of panties, there's 8 liners, I don't know if we have 8 right here, but there's 8 liners and 2 shields and a washcloth, and there's usually a bar of soap. I guess this one doesn't have it. A couple safety pins in case the panties don't fit or the snap breaks or something, but they're not. They're supposed to last for 3 years. That's the idea. And you get 2 of these heavy-duty freezer Ziploc bags.
Right.
So you have one for clean, one for dirty, and you got this nice discreet bag.
And you even put in...
Yes, because when we were originally working with South Sudan, I had asked my friend who's there, Jacob's wife, Linda, you know, is there a website for the school that we're going to work with? And she writes back by email, haha, you know, they barely have pens and pencils. So we added a pen and a pencil to each comfort kit. So, and we use the term comfort kit based on an article that we read online.
I like that.
Yeah, because one woman, they wrote a whole article about why girls don't go to school, and then at the very end, the headmistress of one school said, it's just a very simple problem. When the girls reach that age, no comfort kits are given to them. So that's how we adopted that name.
Perfect.
But Days for Girls International uses Days for Girls International Hygiene Kit. That's the term that they prefer to use.
And what I thought was very special is each of the girls in our troop wrote letters to all of the girls that were going to receive the kits. And it was very eye-opening and heart, because obviously we learned about all this stuff, but it wasn't too personal. Yeah, like you didn't have face to who was receiving this, and we got a couple pictures of the girls who received them, but they also wrote letters back. And if you don't mind, I want to read a little section of one of the letters. This is from Faith, who lives in Kenya, and she wrote back, I am very grateful for the comfort kits because before I used to stay at home due to lack of money to buy sanitary pads. We used old mattress and old clothes. Also, our performing in school reduced because of this. And so we could see how this affected the girls, and now they can stay in school and their performance will increase because they have access to these comfort kits.
Right. It's so meaningful, so heartwarming, and your journey is still continuing. We're going to take another quick break. Stay with us. We'll be right back. We're talking about Girl Scout Troop 733 and their upcoming Sewathon. And boy, that's going to be quite a day, Saturday, March 21st.
Oh, yes.
Yes,
Okay, Rhoda, tell us the place and time.
Okay, so this is going to be at the Santa Fe College Perry Center in Alachua. It's just 20 minutes north of Gainesville if you're driving up, not hard to get to, across from the Progress Center. In the past, we've done our Sewathons in churches as well as the Alachua Library, but we outgrew the space. So now we have a room 3 times as big, and they said we can use classrooms as well. But we had 22 girls and 22 adults at the last one, so we're anticipating more.
You know, you've told me people who come back, who help, some who iron, some who, they use their best expertise.
Right, and you
but
don't have
everybody
to-
has a way they can help.
Right. You can help by donating the supplies,
Exactly.
and we'll go over that in a second. But even if you don't sew, it doesn't matter because there's tracing, there's marking, there's cutting,
Right.
there's assembling,
There's
there's
folding,
trimming, there's folding, there's ironing. There's so many different steps. But we also usually have American Sewing Guild ladies who come and teach people how to sew as well.
Okay, that's A+.
Yeah, A+. Yes.
And so even if you can't make it to the sewathons, you can still donate, 100% cotton flannel,
Right.
underwear, size small for women,
Okay.
large for girls.
All right.
There's a lot of different
There's
things.
lots
And if
of
you go
different
to our
possibilities.
we have a Facebook page and a
Great.
website, and if you go there, you can find out all of the different things that you can donate.
Okay, long list, including that soap and, like you said,
Yeah,
that's
the
in the
little
bag
bars
and
of
things
soap
of that.
and
So,
washcloths and
right,
pens and
we
pencils.
all have that.
But in terms of fabric, we need as much fabric as we can
okay.
get.
And then you mentioned colorful, bright prints.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
No
thinking that.
animals because there's
Okay.
a cultural thing. You can't
That
bleed
makes
on
sense.
the animal pictures. No cartoons, no people, but like flowers and designs and polka dot stripes, that kind of a thing.
Okay.
So it's 100% cotton flannel and 100% cotton calico or quilting fabric.
All right.
If you know somebody with a big stash, a quilter who's they love to donate
This
to
is
the
it?
good cause.
Well, I might,
Yes,
yeah.
yes, you might know that.
Yes.
And then we also need something called PUL.
Right. Explain
This is
that.
a waterproof fabric here. It comes in different colors and patterns as well, and you buy it in the section where they sell baby stuff because
Okay,
it's
good to
used in
know.
America as a cover. The diaper covers are made
Right,
out of PUL,
okay. So
and
that's
it's not
very
available
important.
in Africa. So it's really important that we get
Right,
as
that
much
you
of that
have
as we
that.
can. It's expensive. Use a coupon.
Okay.
But yeah.
Good
So
advice.
that would be Facebook. You can find
That
us on
will all
Facebook at
be-
Mission Possible, KGISP.
Okay, perfect.
Keep girls in
Yes.
school. Period.
Yes. Okay. Your tagline, it says
Yes.
it all.
Right.
And speaking of saying it all, first of all, Joni, congratulations on being the recipient of the Edna M. Hart
Thank you.
Keeper of the Dream Award, the Scholarship Award from the Martin Luther King. Wonderful celebration. I was there and we all marched together, and you made a very excellent talk, and you quoted Martin Luther King.
Right.
And tell us that, share that
So-
with us.
Martin Luther King said in his letter to a Birmingham jail, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And for us, that meant, how can we sit idly by in Alachua, Florida, while we know that girls halfway across the world aren't receiving an education?
Wow.
And
I think that's quite meaningful, and we could all take that into our own lives and apply it in many different ways. But I got to congratulate Girl Scout Troop 733 for what you're doing. Really making a huge difference, and Radha, you're a great leader for these young ladies.
Well, the girls take the lead. This is
I
by
can
girls
see.
for girls. They tell me what they want to do, and we help make it happen.
Excellent. We are all the better for it. Thank you. And I hope I'll see you at the Sewathon on March 21st. And I'm glad you tuned in, and I hope you'll join us next week. Take care.